that right?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. So thank you, John, for putting this all together. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chris and Carlo and Mark and everybody on the call for jumping on. And, where this popped into my head and why I wanted to do this was Boss and I had a conversation, and Boss, what do I say to these people? I said, just speak from the heart. And if it's just one of us speaking about what's happening to us, well, they might not believe us. But if we all get together and tell our story and what Black Oxygen has done for us, because we've come from so many different backgrounds physically, what we want to get out of the product, all those different goals that we're looking for, somebody's going to find their story in it, that's listening to this eventually when we put it out on social media or wherever, and they're going to go, wow, that's me. I need help with that, my breathing, So for me, my story is, Chris got me started about 3 months ago, called me up out of the blue, hadn't talked to him for a while, we've known each other for 20 years, and he said, I met this product. And he started to explain it, and I said, my goodness, if this is what you said it is, this is it. This is what everybody needs. And I knew it was huge. And so I said, send it to me. Absolutely, get it to me. And so when I got on the product, I had a respiratory issue. Some people know, some people don't, but I feel like I'm breathing through a straw many times because of black mold in the house I grew up in when I was young. So anyway, fast forward, I get the Black Oxygen, I get all three of my daughters, my wife on it, and myself on it. And about 10 days into it, my two oldest daughters started having a conversation about what was happening for their workouts. One's a competitive swimmer. The other one is a competitive rower who we just dropped off at a D1 college for a scholarship for rowing and academics. But anyway, they were raving with each other about their workouts being so incredibly easy all of a sudden and their recovery being incredible. I said, that's it. Tomorrow is Memorial Day. I haven't run long distance for well over a year. I haven't hardly done any running for well over a year. But I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to test this stuff. So I went out. 22 veterans on average commit suicide per day. I figured, what the heck? I'll bite off a big chunk. Let's go run 22 miles. So I went out, ran 22 miles on rolling hills here in Iowa, and got back home and thought, man, I'm going to be hurting tomorrow. And I woke up the next day, and I hardly had any pain, and I did a recovery run of 5 miles the next day. And that's when I solidified it in my own brain that this was going to do exactly what I thought it was going to do. And so, for everybody on this call that can go through their story quickly and tell everybody, and we can play this for people, and people are going to go, it's hard to convince this many people to lie about a product, right? So, John, I'll let you take over from here, buddy, and thank you so much for having us on the call.
You've heard this, a couple of you guys have heard this story before, but it just, it sold me immediately on Black Oxygen was Pat Miletich, good friend of mine for a long time, just really put the product over to me, to the point that even though Pat's never steered me wrong, I was still skeptical because it sounded too good to be true. And I agreed to try it for 10 days. Pat was calling me like day 4, day 5. You feeling it yet? I'm like, I don't know, Pat. I don't know. And he just laughed and said, dude, you're gonna. On day 6, I absolutely tore the gym apart. I didn't know where this energy was coming from. It just felt crazy to me, but I was still a little bit skeptical. And what really sold me was on day 8. Day 8 was a watershed moment where I called you guys up and said, I got to be a part of this company because a week before I started Black Oxygen, I squatted. I'm currently training for the Canadian Powerlifting Championships. I'm here in Vancouver, BC, by the way. And I squatted 545 pounds for 3 reps. It tore me apart, which was normal. I nearly blacked out during the set, which was normal. And I was stiff as a board for over a day afterward, which again was normal. So a week after that, on my 52nd birthday, I started Black Oxygen. A week after that, I went back in the gym. I squatted 551 for 5 reps. It was way easier to control, an explosive out of the bottom for everyone, did not almost black out during the set. And half an hour after my set was over, my training partner was looking at me funny and said, dude, you're supposed to be walking like an old man by now, and you're not. And the stiffness never got above maybe 30% of normal. So that sold me right there. My left knee didn't swell up the way it usually does. My right shoulder didn't swell up the way it usually does. And it's been 2 months I've been on the product now, and just the benefits have been accruing. My moods are getting better. My energy is consistently high. My gym performances are consistently great. I'm setting personal records almost every time I go to the gym. I'm very optimistic, and that's why I signed up for the Canadian Powerlifting Championships. It's always haunted me. As a junior lifter way back in the Stone Ages, I got a silver medal at the Nationals. It's always bugged me. what convinced me to go back and get that gold medal was Black Oxygen. So thank you very much for making this, you guys, and I cannot say enough about the product.
Thank you.
Boom. Yeah, there we are.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, same story here like with Paul Lanzenby. You know, Pat called me. He says, hey, you got to try this stuff out. It goes really well with your O2 trainer, which is a long training event that I had, which is right now taking care of asthma, COPD, all that kind of stuff. So it works really good, but, you know, it doesn't take care of allergies. So if I'm walking in the hills here with my dog, I'm hiking, I'm still having pollen, I still start wheezing. Now, I'm much stronger, so I pull straight through. I don't need an inhaler. But like oxygen, within days, that was gone. Every morning I would walk around here, and you gotta ask my whole family with a napkin and paper towel because my nose was running all the time, completely gone. Bloody noses, I had that. That's the latest that we found out now. For the last 2 years, I blow my nose a little hard, boom, it starts bleeding, happens also during the day, that is also completely gone. Stretching, I've been stretching for 5 years, I stretch every day, I'm very limber, it's very painful though if I do it. And I need to do it because of my knees. I have no cartilage in my kneecaps, which is a very hard problem. It's almost the only problem they can't fix. So the stretching is a nightmare, and it's really killing me. That is completely gone. I could not believe it. Like, I'm more flexible now. I'm talking about 4 weeks or 5 weeks in, and I had zero pain when stretching. Another friend of mine, I started talking, because this is the thing also, once I started realizing this to me, my first customers were all my best friends. They were literally the first guys I called. It was not like, oh, you're trying to sell something. No, I'm trying to sell you something good. That's what I'm trying to do because it's really that good. Muscle aches. I was talking to a buddy of mine who's also over 50 years of age. Every time when you went normally, you train your chest, and then a week later, you know, if you train your chest 2 more times, that pain is gone, and you can train as hard as you want. Not anymore when you pass 55, I guess, because now you're in pain all freaking day long. And I asked him, I said, hey, do you have the same thing? And he said, exactly the same thing. Well, that is gone now too as well. So, I mean, 30% compared to the 100% that was before. So, like Pat said, you know, he ran the 22 miles. He thought the next day he was going to be crushed. I would do that after a workout. I think, oh, maybe I push it too hard. Absolutely nothing. So, and this is me just going 5-6 weeks in, and all these pluses that I see already now, the less inflammation, the faster recovery. I was training. This is also 100% true story. I have birds here under the. I have a roof here, but there's also my back there that I kick. It's right here, standing here. And I didn't kick for at least 6 weeks because we have birds here. They were feeding the birds, and I was afraid because the birds started yelling at me, and I figured I'm afraid that the little ones are going to die. So I didn't do anything for 6 weeks. I went to Budapest. I came back. 2 days later, I flew through a 30-minute workout that I normally do, that I used to do for when I was competing. And it's a 1 minute kicking with 1 minute rest. And people are going to go down, yeah, it's 1 minute kicking. Not the way I do it. I'll guarantee you, I'll bet you cannot do it the way I do it. Because I go full blast. And I just flew through the workout. And I literally looked at my wife. I said, this is insanity. I mean, I didn't train stamina for 6 weeks. And the next day, no muscle aches. So this is what I have now, but I think it's going to be much more going further.
Hey guys, great to be here. I had a bunch of stories to tell you, but I just got one about an hour ago from one of my fighters I wanted to share without dropping names, but I will drop those with Pat Miletich later. But I've got a 155 guy I've had on it for about 4 weeks now. His name's Dakota Bush, fights in the LFA. He just got back from a gym, a nearby gym, and he went with a UFC 205er that usually subs him. Didn't sub him at all. He ends up subbing a couple Bellator guys. And without dropping names, it's actually a very big deal for this kid. And it's not that this makes your jiu-jitsu better, but it makes you fight for positions better. And if head controls direction and hips control your movement, you can fight those a lot more with more oxygen. And so, to me, this was huge because you got a 55er going with 205 black belts, and this 55er I have is not belted at all. He's never done jiu-jitsu from a gi. It's all no-gi MMA. So we went up against a 205er who is in the UFC right now. Like I said, I'm not dropping names, but did very well with. Obviously, he didn't sub him, but he didn't get subbed. But those of you that are in this game know that's huge. And then when he goes to do the turf and stuff, people are asking, what's he on? Because he's usually not like this until right before a fight. We're not even in a fight. This is just a regular, we're not even in camp now. So he has leaps and bounds. With me, I mean, I started it, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago. And what Pat Miletich told me is he said, it's going to be like being in a hyperbaric chamber. And I'm going to steal that because that's it. That's the bottom line for me. That's the way I feel with it. I'm 100% with everybody I've tested it with. 100% of that their oxygen's level are crazy. So that's my story. I could go on and on, but I just want to hear everybody else's. I appreciate your time. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, John. It's great to be here. I found out from the product, I guess we have a trend here from my good friend Pat Miletich. We're both from the Quad Cities. I'm from Davenport, Iowa, and we've been friends for about 10 years now. I just recently retired out of the military after 38 years. I finished as a senior enlisted person in the Department of Defense, and for 38 years, I was preparing like every other service member to be ready for the worst day of my life. And the worst day of a soldier's life, as we all know, is in combat, where not only you have to deal with an armed enemy, but you have to negotiate terrain, and you have to negotiate structures and walls and all kinds of things while wearing 60 to 80 pounds of kit, including your weapons and everything like that. And when I was in my 20s and 30s, it was pretty easy to stay that way. But the older I got, it was tougher to recover. It was tougher to stay at peak operating efficiency every day. And ever since I retired, prior to getting on black oxygen, I just thought Father Time was getting a hold of me. And when Pat introduced me to this about 3 months ago, and I've been on it, I am back to operating like I was as a young NCO getting ready to go to Iraq or Afghanistan. I train hard 6 days a week, and since I've been on black oxygen, my recovery is better. The anti-inflammatory effects are just phenomenal, and my cardio has gotten a lot better. I still run between 5 to 10 miles 3 times a week, and then on the other 3 days, I do very intense strength and conditioning, and it has allowed me to continue to operate. To the point, I was in Goodfellow Air Force Base in San Angelo, Texas this week, doing leadership seminars, and I was asked by the leadership there to PT physical training with 15 of their best tactical athletes. And I put them through what I call a Scunion session. And I told them, don't be afraid of a 56-year-old retired grandfather and what he can do to you in the physical training environment. I owe all of that to the effects that I've had with black oxygen, and I'm sold on it, which is not only why I use the product, but I became a brand partner as well. So thanks for the opportunity, John, and good luck to you all that are using it out there, because I, for one, am hooked on it. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right. Hey, thank you very much, John. This is Brian Smith. I'm in Portland, Oregon. I've been taking black oxygen and organic minerals for about 20 months. Now, aside from Carlo and Mark and a few other customers they had prior to that, I'm probably the longest reigning user of the product. And I just have to tell you, when I heard this story, I was invited to come on and work with these guys to make a difference here with this story, this rare opportunity to tell this amazing story. It's a life-changing story. We are absolutely thrilled. I was thrilled to take this project on. I'm a cancer survivor. In 2007, I received a liver transplant. In 2009, I suffered a stroke. And over the past decade, I've dealt with just numerous health issues and challenges that just made me feel every bit my age and then some. And when you hear how old I am, it's going to start to make sense. I'll be 73 in October. And the quality of my life has changed dramatically since I started taking this product. It used to be I couldn't hardly have enough energy to get out of bed in the morning and make it through the day. And I had trouble sleeping through the night. I had to get up and go to the restroom multiple times. And when I wake up, I was just racked with pain, and I had restless leg syndrome. I just didn't feel rested. I didn't feel like I had any energy. I had a stiff, aching joints, and basically, it was just the way I had resonated my life to be from that point on because of age and medical issues. Now I get up in the morning and I'm energized. I'm ready to go. I'm rested. I'm feeling energized. I am absolutely, I get out of bed, no stiffness, no nothing. And what I've discovered is these things I found with a problem, age, chronic health issues, weren't really that much at all. It was mostly mineral deficiency. Now, I my mental clarity is up, is strong, is sharp and clear. I absolutely feel completely, totally involved in life now. This has become for me more than just a product. It's a purpose. Now, as I said, I received a liver transplant. For me, someone made the ultimate sacrifice in order for me to carry on. Black Oxygen, this mission, this purpose, changing lives is what we have, has made it count. It's made that second chance I've got. Now, we're not here to diagnose, treat, or give medical advice, but it's part of my story. Part of my story is I'm a transplant. If you have a critical issue, medical issue, make sure that if you want to, you talk to your doctors. I'm on a critical care transplant team, and I refer to them. So make sure you do that. Don't take yourself off any medication. But I'm just telling you that my life has changed dramatically since this. And the good news is this: since I've been on this 20 months, it started out, and it keeps getting better. It's like any other natural process. You exercise. The longer you exercise, the more in shape you're going to get. If you're on a diet, the longer you stay on the diet, the more weight you're going to lose. The longer you stay on this product, the higher your quality of life is going to become, because you're giving your body the essential nutrient it needs to put itself back into natural balance, into homeostasis. When you get to that level, man, that's when you know that you've got something here. This is really fabulous product. So anyway, folks, I want to thank all of you, every one of you, for being here with us and helping us carry this torch, take this great message, this great purpose out into the world, man. It is going to be incredible. Thank you very much. Back to you, John.
Fantastic. How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
John O'Brien from Bettendorf, Iowa. I sound like a broken record here with Pat's little team here, but real quick story. I trained with Pat. I'm a long-distance runner, run ultramarathons, marathons, but I trained with Pat about 4 years ago, and then have continued to stay in touch with Pat. So when he told me about this, he said, hey, you got to try this, and I'm very skeptical of anything, and very, very skeptical of what Pat says, other than some tips on training. But anyway, I got the liquid, and I didn't read the directions, and I just it said 5 something, so I just was taking 5 drops of the liquid in water for about a week. And I was like, listen, man, I called up Pat. I'm like, hey, look, I don't know what this stuff is, or I don't feel any different whatsoever. And he's like, well, how are you taking it? And I told him, I said, hey, I'm taking 5 drops. He says, no, you idiot. It's 5 full drop, like the things. I said, okay, I'll try that. So then fast forward now, it's been about 6 weeks. And I've lost about 15 pounds, and I have been running, but here's the key. The key was that in the summer here, it's so humid. And when I run, 15, 20 miles, my heart rate would get into that 165, 170 range pretty quick. And the last 3 or 4 weeks, my heart rate has been around 130. And I'm talking, I ran 18 on Saturday, and my average heart rate was about 131. The whole entire run. So I'm a believer. I told Pat, hey, I bought it from him, and I said, look, if you're going to have me come to meetings with you and talk about it, I might as well start, become a partner in all this. And I'm now a believer in it. I feel a lot better. I think what Ben was saying earlier about the energy level throughout the day, I don't feel as tired, and my workouts have been amazing. So thank you for having me on.
I live in Houston, Texas. Originally from the Quad Cities, good friends of Pat. How I got started on the Black Oxygen, I was I'm a Division I college football player and a professional fighter with about 30 fights, mostly mixed martial arts. I've done boxing, kickboxing, and most of my fights were for the original Legacy Fighting Championships, and sparred with world champions and multiple UFC fighters. I train with them still to this day. I actually have fought in front of Pat and Boss several times. But how I got started on this Black Oxygen, a lot of people will try to sell me stuff. George Foreman's my godfather, so people come to me all the time with products. And I'll listen to them. And I was back home in the Quad Cities over the summer to see my mom, and I got a hold of Pat. Pat had his kickboxing match with Michael Nunn, and I said, hey, man, do you want me to hold the mitts? I can come help you out. And he was like, yeah. And he'd been telling me about this product. And, Pat's my friend, so I'm going to listen to him, and I'll come over and we worked out and stuff, and he gave me some before we worked out. And I'll try it, and I'm an honest guy. If I didn't think it worked, I would say, it doesn't work. It's not worth it. I'm not going to spend my money, And I tried it, and we worked out. And then he had his kid give me a swimming lesson. And granted, I ain't swam in months because I usually swim when I would train for fights. And I swam for like an hour. They had me in the pool. And I even came home, and I had so much energy. And my wife's like, whatever that is, don't take that no more. She won't shut up. Because I felt so good on it. And so I ordered some, and I waited. I had some trips planned for the summer. And I was out of town for about 2 weeks in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and I came back, and I was seeing college football buddies, so I was having a good time. And I come back, and I started, the first day I started, I do 12 rounds on the heavy bag, shadow boxing in the heavy bag, and I go at a hard pace, a fighter's pace, because that's the only pace that I know. And I move nonstop, and I don't stop. I don't sit in front of the bag. I'm constantly moving. And I did my 12 rounds, and then I ran 3 miles after that. I was like, man, this is legit. I mean, I tried it that one time, but I had ordered it, and I sat, and I wanted to wait till I came back from vacation. And I kept telling my wife about it, and been constantly taking it over and over. And I've been taking it. Tomorrow will be my first month I've taken every one. I order it every 2 weeks now because I want to have it in my house, so I have it to take every day. And it's funny because I'll go to the fight gyms, and I'll train with these younger guys, and they're like, how the hell, you're 45 years old? How do you not get tired? And I still train pretty hard, but I don't do the stuff that I do to train for fights like I would because my body can't take it. But I still go pretty hard on stuff. But my energy level is insane. Like I did 12 rounds today after I lifted, and I ran 3 miles in about 21 minutes. So, and people will come up to me at the gym almost all the time watching me hit those bags like, dude, how old are you? How do you do this? And I was telling them about the product. And it's worked wonders for me. I think it's phenomenal. I'm a huge believer in it. I've told multiple people about it. I'm actually, when I see George, I'm going to give him some. He's hiding from everybody because of the coronavirus because he's older. So he stays at his ranch or at his house. So I haven't seen him yet to give him some. But I believe in it that much that I would put it in front of George Foreman, and I don't do that kind of stuff. That's how good it is, and that's how much it's affected me. And not only has it helped me with my conditioning and my workouts, it's helped me with my mental. Like, Boss and Pat can probably relate to this, or any other guys that's fought as many times as we have and taken so many shots to the head as we get older. Me personally, I don't know about those guys, but I deal with a lot of anxiety and depression. My brain's taken its toll, so I'm not a young kid anymore. So I deal with depression a lot. I deal with a lot of anxiety. I have bad moods. I have bad spells. And since I've been on this, I've been like the happiest person. I have so much energy, and everything's clear in my mind. And my wife can vouch for that. She's in the kitchen. She loves me on it. She goes, whatever it is. And she was skeptical on it at first. She's like, don't take that no more because you got too much energy. But my attitude has been so good, and it would be a lot of things that would just piss me off for no reason. And I don't let things bother me no more. It's helped me with 2 things. And I also work with autistic kids. And I'm a big believer in the kids ain't back in school yet. And when I start sitting in front of the parents and talking to them, I'm going to try to get them on it too because it helps with the brain. I mean, I think, at least for me, at least in my mind, it does. It's helping me with my brain, and it's helping me with my cardio. And my cardio has always been really good, but I live by it. I take it every day. And like I said, I gave it a shot because Pat was my friend. And if I didn't think it was legit, I would have said, nah, I wouldn't be buying it. I know that. Every 2 weeks when I get paid, I buy some. I buy a month. I buy the $30 satchel thing or whatever, so I always have it in my house. But I stand behind it. It's something I'm going to put in front of George Foreman, and I don't do that kind of stuff. That's how good it is. And I cherish my friendship with him, so I don't do those things, but I'm going to put it in front of him.
Good evening, John. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Well, good evening, everybody. And, sitting back, John, listening to the testimonials tonight is absolutely amazing. And I'm sitting here up at my lake where I live every summer, and I'm 65 years of age now. And, when Brian talks about his tragedies that he's gone through in his life, I relate to myself. And as some of the people know the story of myself in 2006, I come from an athletic background. myself, being in the sports world of professional hockey, now unlike these ultimate fighters that are on here that I respect so much. But in 2006, I raced snowmobiles as well, and I was in a snowmobile crash, and I paralyzed my left arm and took my brachial plexus out of my shoulder and went through 9 operations, and I was clinically dead, took the subclavian artery out of my heart, and since then I've had nine surgeries, latissimus dorsi transfers, trapezius transfers, nerve transfers, and the pain that Brian was talking about, the pain that some of the ultimate fighters were talking about, I already had that pain from playing hockey for so many years as a goaltender. And about 18 months ago, Rob Whitty gave me a call and said, Alan, you need to try this product. You really need to try this product. And I kind of laughed a little while ago. I don't know what the fellow's name was again. I should have wrote it down, but he said he put 5 drops in and nothing was happening. I did the same darn thing. I put 5 drops in and nothing was happening. Now remember, this 18 months ago, and I talked to Rob. He said, no, stupid. Yeah, and stupid is. He said, put 5 dropperfuls. Once I started putting the 5 dropperfuls, I saw a big. I turned 65 this year. I still doing 8 to 10 miles walking. I don't run. I'm not a runner because of my paralyzed left arm. But I still do 8 to 10 miles every single day out here at the beach. Yes, I'm a senior citizen. I'm getting that brown check now. I don't feel like a senior citizen, and someday I'm going to write my testimony. But Mark St. Ange, when you talk about adaptogens, Rob Whitty and I have studied adaptogens for many years now. When you talk about bringing your body back to homeostasis, Brian, that's exactly. And Mark St. Ange, I want to thank you. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for bringing this product, this Canadian product. I mean, Volvic has been around for a long time in Europe. Mark's been around close to 40 years. But when you bring this Canadian, and we know what our North Country has in Canada with minerals, it is absolutely incredible. So, John and everybody else, Brian and everybody else that's on the call today, and especially Rob Whitty, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. And I'll tell you what, waking up at 65 and the injuries and the surgeries I've gone through, I'll tell you what, it's a testimonial to the product. Not to me, it's a testimonial to the product. It's a testimonial to Mark St. Ange. Thanks so much.
Sure can.
Good evening. Thanks for having me on the call tonight. My name is John Miletich. I'm the lesser known Miletich, and I hail from Bettendorf, Iowa. So I've been on the product since late June, early July. And Pat put me on the product when he found out that I was, excuse me, I was pretty sick. I had been diagnosed with mantle cell lymphoma. And, a year ago, this past week, I was in Leadville, Colorado, running a 100-mile ultra marathon, and how quickly life changes. But Pat got me on the black oxygen right away. I was in intense pain. My abdomen was extremely sore. My spleen had swelled 3 times its normal size. And after about 3 or 4 days on the product, the intensity, the pain was still there, but it wasn't anywhere near as intense as it had been prior to taking the product. I've now been on it a couple of months. I went out yesterday and I ran a 5-mile run, which is the first time I've run all year. My breathing was excellent. My heart rate was at about 131, which is pretty good. I'm 60 years of age. And I fully expected to wake up today with sore joints, sore muscles, and none of that happened. I am literally pain-free. I have no digestive issues right now. I have no abdominal pain. My energy level, I was taking it 3 times a day, and I actually backed off to 2 times a day because I found myself 9:30, 9:45, getting ready to go to bed. I found myself organizing cupboards and doing all this stuff in the house. I mean, my wife loves me for it, but I had to, at some point in time, I needed to get some sleep. So I backed off to 2 times a day. It's perfect. My sleeping is awesome. Very rarely would I ever go into deep REM sleep. Virtually every night in the last month and a half. I mean, I wake up full of energy. My mental attitude is at an all-time high. we're attacking my disease with the black oxygen and some conventional stuff, you know. But the biggest thing is it's just really, really hard to explain, but yet it's so simple. This product is amazing. It came, you know, Pat brought it to me at such a crucial time in my life. From going from being at the top of my game physical wise to the lowest point in my life physical wise. And I mean, it's been a blessing. I will continue to use this product until the day I die. Regardless, it's there, it works. Like we said, you know, it doesn't cure anything, but it's put my body in such a position that, I mean, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I'm turned off by pills and, you know, chemicals and things of that nature. This is an all natural organic product, and I love that. I just eat that up. And with that, I'm going to let it go back to you, John, and I appreciate you allowing me to share my story.
In this call, I think we got a lot of value out of it. We certainly took a little time tonight, but it was worth every minute. Pat, over to you, my friend.
Hey, thank you, John, and thank you, Chris, Mark, Carlo. Thank you guys for putting this together, and thank you for getting me started on the product. And we've started the snowball rolling downhill, and it's just going to continue to get bigger and better all the time. And I'm just pumped. I'm having a blast. I haven't had this much fun since I was chasing a world title, and I'm totally serious. It's an absolute blast. So, you know, we're doing the right thing. We're helping people and having a blast, and that's what life's all about. So, thanks again, guys.